Before we get to the meat of this video, I actually have some news regarding the upcoming Community Day Classic, which will be the day after this video drops. So if you're out in New Zealand, Australia, and Japan, hopefully there's still time for you guys to watch this video before y'all go out and take part in the Community Day Classic. So check this out. We got more news. Evolve Curlier, from the beginning of the event until the first of the month of February at 10 p.m. local time to get either a Gardevoir or a Galade that will know the chart type move Psychonoid. So that move is coming back. And then the Community Day Special Research will award additional encounters with Ralts. And you will have an increased chance to encounter shiny Ralts when you complete Ralts Community Day Continued Time Research Task. And Mega Energy for Mega Gardevoir and Mega Energy for Mega Galade will be added to the field research rewards. So that's all the additional news for this upcoming Community Day Classic event. Now let's get on to the meat of this video. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. It's the boy True in front of today's day is Thursday. It's still Thursday actually, January the 23rd. I remember because the last time I did a video, it was actually on this day, January the 23rd. I did a joke, January 23rd, 1, 2, 3. I did a joke again. Okay, so enough with that. Now, we got to talk about something that I haven't talked about in a long time, and we need to get back to the swing of things here. Tingle Rockets lineup. So they changed the lineups a few days or a couple of weeks ago, whatever the case may be, and I never talked about what Pokemon to bring against their new lineup. Well, I'm talking about it now. I'm bringing that back. So let's not waste any time. Let's get on with it. Check this out. Okay, so we're gonna start things off by looking at the lineup belonging to Raifi. Okay, so here we go. She's gonna lead off with the Shadow Skorupi, which can now be a shiny Shadow Skorupi, which I bet is gonna be looking cool as heck. So this is a bug and ground poison type rather. So it would be weak against fire, flying, psychic, and rock type. So this all this information from Leaked Up, by the way. So this is a very good website to use to try and strategize on what to use here. So in this case, so that's what we're gonna start off with. That's what she's gonna start off with rather. Afterwards, she's gonna bring in either Melodic, which is a water type, weak against grass and electric, Ferrothorn, which is grass and steel, which is weak against fighting and fire, and Ninetales, which is fighting, ironically enough, which is weak against water, ground, and rock. This is a lot of coincidental stuff here. I find that to be funny. Afterwards, she's gonna end up with either Houndoom, which is dark and fire type, so it'll be weak against water, fighting, ground, and rock. Shadow Drapion, which is poison and dark, which is weak against ground only, or Nidoqueen, which is poison and ground, which is weak against water, ice, ground, and psychic. So what to bring in here? So in this case, I'm going with Swampert in my lead, Electrifier, and then Gyarados. So why those three Pokemon? Well, let's take a look at Swampert rather. So Swampert got Mud Shot. So right off the bat, this is going to be super effective against the Skorupi. It's going to be super effective against the Ninetales. It's going to be super effective against pretty much everything in her closer, like all three of her closers. So Mud Shot with Earthquake and Hydro Cannon will do damage against all 5 of those Pokemon. The Skorupi, the Ninetales, and any one of those 3 that she picks as her closer. Now, why Electrifier? Now, this Electrifier have Thunder Shock, which would be good against this thing right here, the Melodic, and the Wild Charge would be good against as well. But if it brings out Ferrothorn, that's where Flamethrower would come to play. The Ferrothorn would be weak against the Flamethrower. And that's what the Electrifier would be for 2 out of the 3 Pokemon that she could choose for her second choice. And then, of course, if necessary, that's really it actually, just those 2. I thought there was something in the third lineup, but there really isn't. Although the Flamethrower would be good against Skorupi as well, but the Skorupi should be taken care of by the Swampert, and I thought Swampert would be super effective against this Skorupi, but apparently it's not. So yeah, that's interesting, because don't they evolve to oh maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe the bug cancel that out. So obviously you can bring this in as a backup, you know, the Hydro with the Swampert, make her use both her shields, bring this in, and then use Flamethrower on the Skorupi to finish it off, assuming that it's not finished off already. And then if she were to bring in either Melodic or Ferrothorn, this would still do the job here. If she bring in Flamethrower, then okay, fine, so be it, you got to bring back in Skorupi, or the third option here, which would be Gyarados. Now, you're probably wondering, why Gyarados? This will have Waterfall Aqua Tail. So, in case the in case the Swampert dies here, then you have this to come in because this would be super effective against the Houndoom and the Nidoqueen, and it should be quick enough to get off Aqua Tails against the Drapion as well, in case it is the Drapion, which is not weak against water types, but the Gyarados should get the move on, and it's a high CP, and you can even Mega Evolve it if you want, so there's that as well. Okay, so with right feet out the way, now let's take a look at the next lineup, and that would be Arlo here. So Arlo, we'll start off with the Shadow Alolan Grimer, which is another Poison and Dark type, and is weak against ground type, and yes, that can be shiny. A shiny Shadow Alolan Grimer will be nice, I will admit, that will be nice. Okay, after that, we got his second tier Pokemon, which will ironically enough be either Shadow Gyarados, which is water and flying, which is weak to electric and rock. It would either be a Dugtrio, which is a ground type, which would be weak to water, grass, and ice, or it would be a Slowbro, which is water and psychic, which is weak to electric, grass, bug, ghost, and dark. And then he's gonna close off with either Shadow Scissor, which is bug and steel type, which is super weak against fire, Alolan Mug, another poison dark type, which would be weak against ground, or Metagross, which is a steel and psychic type, which would be weak against ground, fire, ghost, and dark. So in this case, I went with this lineup of Lucario, Metagross, ironically enough, and again Electrify. So you're probably wondering why those three right there. So let me explain. So with the case of the Lucario, it's really all about getting them shields off. It's really all about getting them shields off. So with the counter power punch, that would do the job. And then I can potentially bring it back so it can go up against a Shadow Metagross if it comes down to it, or against the Shadow Slowbro, since both of them are weak to Ghost Move, and this one also have Shadow Ball. So there's as well. And also the Metagross, although it was weak to fighting, but no, it's not. So that's where the Lucario comes to play, mostly just to get rid of the shields. Afterward, then I'm looking at my own Metagross, which is right here. This will have Bullet Punch and Earthquake. So while the Steel type move won't be useful here, the Earthquake on the other hand will be. And we'll talk, I may use another Metagross that have all ground moves, and not, you know, so yeah, because none of my Metagross have a ground quick attack move, so I may switch that with one of these. So yeah, I may switch that with probably not that one. I don't know. I may switch the move Bullet Punch. I may substitute that out for this one and give it a ground move so it can be more effective against the Alolan Grimer. It'd be effective against the Metagross itself and Alolan Muck as well. But the Earthquake should do the job just fine against the closers. Now, in terms of the Electrify would be interesting here because of the fact it's electric type. So right off the bat, Gyarados would be in trouble. And also with the fire move, because again, it's the same one with Flamethrower, it would be good against Scizor and against Metagross. Now, the only issue here is Dugtrio. I have nothing, none of these Pokemon would be good against Dugtrio. So it would be a scenario where Dugtrio, not exactly something to worry about, hopefully. So we're gonna take a risk and not bring in something that would be good against Dugtrio. If you know something, if you know of a better trio lineup that would be effective against all 7 of these Pokemon, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, next up on the list, we got Cliff. So Cliff is gonna lead off with Cubone, which is a ground type and is weak against water, grass, and ice. Afterward, it's gonna either bring in Machoke, which would be a fighting type, and it would be weak against flying, psychic, and fairy. A Shadow Annihilate, which is interesting, which is fighting rather, and ghost type, and it would be weak against flying, psychic, ghost, and fairy. Or a Shadow Marowak, which is also funny, which is a ground type, and it would be the same weakness as Cubone. It's this evolution, so duh, pretty much. And then it would close with either Shadow Tyranitar, which is a rock and dark type, and it got a bunch of weaknesses. Fighting would be the #1 option here. And also water, grass, ground, bug, steel, and fairy. And then we also have Machamp, which is a fighting type. Machoke, pretty much the same weaknesses here. And then Shadow Crobat, which is poison flying, and it would be weak to electric, ice, psychic, and rock types. So in this case, we're gonna lead off with Swampert. Now you're probably wondering why Swampert, and it's simple because of the fact that Swampert, let me find it real quick. This Swamp had Mud Shot, Hydro, and Earthquake, and this thing is weak to water. So there's that. It could get the Hydro Cannon off to get the shields down very quickly, and it would be super effective here. It'd be super effective right against the Marowak. It would be super effective against the Tyranitar with the water and the ground moves, aka Hydro Cannon and Earthquake. So there's that. Then we got Rayquaza, but not just any Rayquaza. We got Rayquaza with flying moves, and we could Mega Evolve this as well. So why this Rayquaza? Well, against the 3 fighters. So Machoke or the Annihilate for his second, and then if he brings out a Machamp, then bam, there you go. We all set right there. Now here's where things go to get interesting. We got a Ursaluna here. Now this Ursaluna have Rock Smash as is quick attack move, so it'll be good against Tyranitar. It also have High Horsepower, which is a ground type move, which is also good against Tyranitar, but it would also be good against, but no, it won't be good against Marowak, never mind. So he got 2 moves that'd be good against Tyranitar, and then got Thunder Punch would be good against the Shadow Crobat. So that's why I got that in as well. And then of course, we got Giovanni right here. So Giovanni gonna lead off with the Persian, the usual. And then gonna lead off, they'll go follow that off with either, and by the way, Persian weak to fighting, so there's that. And then gonna bring in either Rhyperior, which is a ground and rock type, which would be weak against water, grass, super weak against those 2, and also weak against ice, fighting, ground, and steel. It would either bring in that or Kingdra, which is a water and dragon type, and it would be weak against other dragon types and fairy types. Or you bring in Shadow Nidoking, which is a poison ground type, which are weak against water, ice, ground, and psychic. And then of course the new joint, Shadow Palkia, which is water and dragon, and have the same weakness as Shadow Kingdra, dragon, and fairy. So I went with this, Lucario. So Lucario is good against the Persian, get Giovanni to use up his seals, and also be good against the Rhyperior as well. And then of course we got Togekiss. So let's take a look at this Togekiss real quick, assuming I can spell actually. So Togekiss, this one right here have Charm, Dazzling Gleam, and Flamethrower. Although the Flamethrower isn't exactly useful here, but the Dazzling Gleam and Charm will be against potentially the Kingdra and of course the Palkia here. And then of course I brought in Swampert because in case the Lucario faints against the Rhyperior, Swampert would come in, do a job here, or he can do the job against the Nidoking with the water and ground type moves as well. And then obviously the Togekiss would be good against both the Kingdra and of course the Palkia. So that's the squad that I have for you guys here. So that's my lineup that I would be using up against Team Go Rocket's lineups in terms of Rhypey, Giovanni, Arlo, and then of course Cliff. So if you have your own lineup, let me know in the comment section below like how you would go about going against these Team Go Rocket leaders. And on that note, while you're in the comment section below, leave in the comment section below lineup or lineups. Yeah, lineups. Let's go with lineups. So again, leave in the comment section below lineups, and at the very end you should see 2 cards. One of them will be something that YouTube recommends, while the last video would be, well, the other one rather be the last video that I put out, which I don't remember what it is because I put out 2 videos on the same day. So there's that. And I'm just gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know this is your boy New J Gatsby, aka New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Lewis the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they rank them with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show them that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.